back, and God is
no.
like a giant, massive, huge,
I'm
big
thinking
head.
no. They refer in Third Rock from the Sun. They refer to the big giant head.
Oh, the
don't
big
they,
giant
as the
head.
boss?
Yeah.
We're going live, kind of temporary live.
Yeah.
That's what Gary is. coming into the side like the big giant head.
Yeah.
This is our test live, so to speak.
Oh right.
We're just going to see if we're streaming, if we're live. We are.
I love streaming. If you rub it fast enough, you stream all over the place.
Face, neck, and chest.
So 480 is the max we can go at.
Really?
I don't know.
Is 480 reality?
No,
I mean,
it really isn't.
If you can't read your T-shirt, then it's not reality.
Yeah, but is that 1080p? I was going to be.
Oh, so we have.
Oh, we have people in. Hey,
people in.
everybody!
Obviously, we don't know whether they. Oh.
Okay, you guys smell.
I'm trying.
Instant.
You guys smell. Yes, we do smell.
Just gonna try and get into frame. It's such a delay. I don't even know if I'm in there.
In a minute. Yeah. What's great is what we're watching is in a minute a big giant head.
There we go.
Yay! There it is.
Right, going back now.
Sweet.
Oh my god, this is kind of freaky. the time delays throw me off.
Cool. Yep. So chat's good. That's awesome. So long
Well,
as...
we know it's live. We should probably close that window down though, because it's freaking me out.
Oh, well, that window.
Yeah.
Should we just go then from here?
We will do eventually. Yeah. I mean, I haven't hit record on the.
So this is like the pre.
This is the pre-recording
podcast.
The pre-podcast. Yeah.
Lucky people.
Can they hear us?
They should be able to.
Yeah. What's your
can
racial
you,
and sexist slurs
so long as they can
immediately.
hear us.
Can you hear us? You know, that makes sense.
As long as we know they can hear us, then.
Have a wash, you guys. That's Dave as
I
well.
had a shower
Prick.
today, thank you very much.
You didn't.
It should be done well. Hello, Phil.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can hear you. Cool.
Thanks, Dave.
I cleaned under
Our
the
remote
arms.
tech guy. Dave's practically Oracle at
Yeah.
this stage.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased with that.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, that's good to know. So we'll keep that there to minimise that one. You two don't want to see yourself, do you?
God no.
So we'll just move that there. So as long as you can see the chat still.
Wait, I'm kind of like Schrodinger's cat now. I exist and I don't exist in two different realms.
I'm just going to leave the edge in there so that I know that it's still kind of streaming.
YouTube.
yeah, so we can just kind of...
So for those of you that are joining in, listening in, this is the first ever Off the Shelf Reviews live podcast.
Yes.
We don't know what we're doing half the time. So this
Not
is...
even when we record.
So we don't know if it'll continue to sustain itself for the hour, well, as we do the 3 hour long segments of the podcast, but we will roll into it shortly. I'm just going to make sure that we are also recording to make sure we have a backup.
Yeah, we need backups as well. Yeah, this is... Well,
where he starts doing his pre-podcast ritual where he's all like, ow now, brown cow.
yeah, straight face. I mean, so
Lion face. Ooh,
this is
lion
our
face.
first live podcast.
Yes.
But not our first live...
It's not our first live stream.
No. And it's not our first podcast, so that's all a bit weird.
So,
Yeah.
by that, this means nothing.
You think after doing all that work, we'd be better?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nice.
Obviously, I'm also not visible in this video, in this podcast, but for the next one, I'll get another webcam so that we can do 2-cam setup.
Yeah. The guy looks like nothing like I expected. I expected a fat, long-haired neckbeard. Yeah, but Andy cut his hair.
What can I say?
Boom! Got that one in quick. You guys, the best review channel on YouTube, hands down. Thank you. That's what we've been saying.
Finally.
Yeah,
Happy no Brexit Boxing Day. Outstanding.
All right, I'm hitting the record
We're
button.
sat here very strong and stable. Don't worry.
All right, we are in the podcast time.
Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's podcast number 28.
Number 28.
I'm Gary.
I'm wanting to turn Andy into my spunk monkey.
And I'm Spunk Monkey. Andy, sorry.
And of course, in the podcast, we're going to be catching up with the recent film news and movies that we've watched. The theme of this podcast, we're going to be discussing our favourite and least favourite video games. And of course, in the third part of the podcast, we will be answering your questions. Now, before we get into it, I do just want to make a quick apology for the previous podcast, number 27. We had a few comments and a few messages about our guest for the podcast.
People don't know Jez. We've known Jez for a very long time. We all love Jez.
Yeah.
And you just kind of... you have to understand that he doesn't get out much. Really, he's a public speaker, but he just doesn't go out into public.
Just not in public.
He gets very excited when he's talking about Star Trek.
Yes, he
The
does.
topic was Star Trek.
Yes, yeah, but he gets very.
Sometimes the topic is just, what do you want to eat today?
Yeah,
And he's halfway through a discussion about Star Trek.
he gets very excited over a lot of stuff, and then obviously it's like he'll talk over you and he doesn't realize he's doing it. It's something I realized after we did the podcast, because I was fucking pissed at the end of the last podcast, because I kept trying to obviously say something after Gary had said something, and then Jez would interrupt, and I felt like I wasn't saying anything, and it was all over the place, and we were talking over each other. But I realized after, I've done 25, 26 podcasts. You know, I've talked to anybody and everybody, and we know our points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, Jez has done what, like 2?
He's done a couple of Gaming Fridays and a few videos very early on in the channel.
Yeah, so he doesn't...
And you put him in a podcast about Star Trek.
Yeah. We could have literally just
He's
pressed
going
record
to
and let
talk.
him go.
That's it. We should have given him sugar and seen what would have happened.
No.
That would have been better. But, you know, you
You look like that scene in Scarface. Tell you about fucking Next Generation.
picks up a phone. He's just like, "Oh, you want to go to war?" Bang, bang, and Klingon as well. Kapla! Kapla! So,
Well, speaking of Star Trek, as we move into our catch-up, I've been watching Star Trek Discovery Season 2, as of course I'm going to keep commenting on it until Season 2 has ended. It has been renewed for a 3rd season.
Yeah.
However, they are losing more of the cast. Now,
like Walking Dead style.
Sorry, are some of these going to this other show that's like this whole
no,
Spec Ops?
fired, gone, removed. Also, the spin-off show that they were going to do with Michelle Yeoh is now up in the air. It's like, we may not actually do this now.
Nice, nice.
But one of the big things I've really enjoyed about both Season 1 and Season 2 has been the ship's captain. In the first season, it was... I've forgotten his name. It's a great start. The guy from
Pike.
Event Horizon. Not
Sam
right,
Neill.
So you mean the...
Not Sam Neill.
Lawrence
the
Fishburne.
Doctor.
Lawrence Fishburne.
No, not Lawrence Fishburne. Don't do this to me, Ian.
Morpheus.
I knew who it is. Yeah,
Morpheus.
yeah. I was just going to say Morpheus, Rambo, Jason
Yeah.
Isaacs.
So Jason Isaacs
Boom.
Right.
was obviously let go at the end of Season 1 of Discovery, and he was a great captain.
Yeah.
So in Season 2, they brought in Anson Mount, and they've just fired him as well.
Oh.
After he physically punched a director on set. Now,
Oh, I mean, that will do it. Yeah.
there's a lot of hearsay that's come out at the moment about what actually happened on set. Like maybe it was an accident, but apparently the
Fell
director
into
was
his
giving
Fell
him
into his face.
directions that he wasn't happy with. Apparently, he was also, he'd already been told he might be being removed from the show. But at the end of the day, he's gone. He's going to be removed from the end of Season 2. Now, a lot of people watching it were kind of accepting it anyway,
Right.
Because he's the captain of the Enterprise at this point. He's going back to the Enterprise at the end of the season, regardless.
Right. Okay.
But they're just not going to bring the actor back. They've also got Spock in this. It's the first time we've seen Spock on TV.
He's the half brother to Thingamajig from Walking Dead.
Yes, yeah, and so they're playing on
Wait,
the whole Burnham Spock
Character
brother
or
sister.
real life?
Real life.
Because that would be one fuck of a crossover. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
no.
Spock Grimes.
Scott Grimes, right? So the story with Spock and Burnham, it's been fairly interesting. I know a lot of fans have already tuned out of it. They're just like, oh, Spock had a sister. Why did he never mention it? And I keep going, well, he never mentioned Sarbuck either. Cybok, sorry,
Cybok.
from the
Cybok.
films. Cybok. I was thinking of Mortal Kombat character for some
Sarbuck.
reason.
Sarbuck.
British human. No, well, that's it. I mean, are they going to bring Cybok into the TV
don't
series?
think so,
Are they
no.
writing them out? No,
No.
it was always an issue. I said this from the start when you said about Discovery coming out. I said I'd wait to see how far it went. I always thought the actress from Walking Dead was going to be the fucking captain. The way the trailer was sold to me.
Well, she kind of
first
is.
season.
She's
Right,
the
she
dominant
kind of-
character.
Yeah, exactly. But she's not. And obviously, I've heard this over the last couple of podcasts where you've enjoyed it, but you've not enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, you do say other people should watch it, but then at the same time, you're saying, look,
Yeah,
It's risky.
The only issue is that she does dominate almost every episode.
which then makes it difficult to follow because then you're getting rid of just captains here and there, and she.
It's
hopefully
weird.
She
Do you think it was because that she hit that show running off of her highest popularity of being in The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
she
she wasn't-
left Walking Dead and hit that.
She wasn't the most
show,
popular
right?
character on The Walking Dead either.
No, but she went
She
out.
was she
Spoilers.
was getting
Yeah.
to.
She died.
She was
But
getting
she
to.
went out pretty in a badass fucking
Oh,
way.
yeah, it
didn't
was a
she?
great
So,
exit,
like,
yeah.
and she was. I was saying she really. I've forgotten her bloody name.
would
already,
you
but
say
I
that-
I thought she was really good. In
Would you say that she's in the position to become the new
ship's
captain?
Well, yeah. So even though I
Because
prefer
that
it,
would work and
I'd
keep the show
prefer,
alive.
I'd prefer Saru to become the ship's captain.
Who's Saru?
He's kind of like their science officer.
All right.
He's the alien who's got a great backstory. What I like about season 2 is they've done a lot of good character backstories, and there was a character who was getting a lot of backstory, and they killed off. Like, they've killed off a lot of bridge crew members throughout both seasons, like more so than all the other Star Trek series put together. I've never seen so many bridge crew exit the show.
So many red shirts.
So many red shirts that are not red shirts, you know, and so it's quite surprising. And I will say,
They turned into blue.
They're reversible.
there was a character who had a bit of screen time here, there, and as it was going, and then this episode came along, and they were giving this character a lot of backstory, and I was like, oh, this is great, another character with a lot of backstory. That character dies at the end of that episode. First Star Trek episode ever to bring me to tears, ever. Really? And I was like, wow, I don't usually get emotional watching Star Trek. You know, I get geeked out. I was like, but this is testament to how how different the show is compared to other Star Trek. You know, they are trying to do season-long character arcs, and I do get more emotionally invested in all the other characters except the lead character. But
see, I'm gonna still give it a little bit of time because
Well, I mean,
I don't buy the
I
whole
still-
spice
I still-
stuff. Yeah,
for anyone who's having issues getting into Star Trek Discovery, you go back to TNG, because TNG season 1 was very difficult for a lot of people to get into because they were like, this is not the original series.
but the
Yeah, but I think we're
and
trained for that
Picard
now.
wasn't, you know,
the cool
captain
thing I
you
can
know and
do
love.
now is I can completely skip season 1 of Next Generation with Discovery.
Yeah.
You know, if I know now I could start watching season 1 and then season 2, but as the seasons go, you know, you're back into that old position of waiting another week for it to come out.
Sure.
You know, and being on a cliffhanger and being pissed off.
Yeah.
That's the blessing and the curse, I suppose, of a TV series. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta suck it up, man. Your character's gonna die, and you're gonna have to live with it. You know.
Yeah. But also on Netflix, just binged and finished Afterlife, which is the new Ricky
so
Gervais
fucking
show.
good, right?
Andy, you've seen it?
Oh man, yeah, I watched it, and like when you said you binge watched it, because sometimes we do things right. We do 6 episode seasons, and they're really easy to binge watch. So
Yes, 6 episodes and it's done.
Me and Donna just sat down and watched all 6 episodes in one go in one evening, and it's just brilliant. It's the story of a man who's recently lost his wife to a long illness, like to cancer, you know, over a long period of time. He's a journalist for like a free paper in like a little town outside of London, and it's just him angry at the world, suicidal, and it's kind of like, imagine if you just turned the filter off when you were talking to people.
Right.
If someone does anything remotely sort of like that annoys you, you have that kind of filter that goes, whatever, or leaves it and stuff. And no, this is like, I'm going to drop a C-bomb in your face 2 seconds in, and he just goes around saying whatever he wants to people. But it's him coming to terms with the loss of his wife. You know, she's left him lots of videos, some brilliant, you know, videos of her saying to him basically like, "You're useless. I'm gonna have to teach you how to be on your own."
Yeah, got up
Simply
your ass.
like,
Remind him to feed
green
the dog.
bins for recycling, feed the dog, it likes food, stuff like that. Don't sit around drinking all day, you'll get fat, and all this random stuff. But it's him kind of like angry at the world, and then over these episodes sort of coming to terms with the people in his life, about finding a reason to go on, and sort of it's really good. And to be honest, from Ricky Gervais as well, it's a lot. I know a lot of people that don't like Ricky Gervais that say, I've seen it and it looks like Ricky Gervais having an excuse to be Ricky Gervais, and I'm like, you're right, and it's great. But also he really becomes a very vulnerable character and really opens up. It's fantastic.
It gets
6
very
episodes.
dark.
Oh, it's crazy dark, but not in the way that you'd expect.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that catch you off guard, where you do find yourself like,
Mate,
you have very
Ricky
like
Gervais
almost
is
visceral
amazing.
reactions. He is a fantastic writer.
Did you
I
ever
really
watch
like
Derek?
Yeah, and
Derek
his
was
wife.
good. I like
his
Derek.
wife is the head nurse that has like the relationship with Derek.
And
and there's a lot of crossover characters.
I just knew with this TV series that I would just be like, just like you said, completely binge it.
Yeah.
But I'm reluctant to, because it's so dark. And I'm like, you know what? I've got a lot of darkness in my life anyway, without having to turn the TV on. So, do I want to watch Ricky Gervais moan about this shit? Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna watch Stephanie McMahon and Triple H get married.
It is funny
Nice.
watching him call a lot of people cunts, though. So there's that.
I would. Yeah.
Like kids,
On a
man.
I know, yeah.
Like kids at times.
Yeah, I
like,
know. I saw in the trailer where the fucking fat ginger kid calls him a pedophile, and he turns around and he says to him like, "Well, you wouldn't be at risk, would you, little cunt?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
fat
"Oh
little
god, I
ginger
love this show
cunt, yeah.
already. I would love to do that." You know.
There's a brilliant moment about like going too spoilerific, but where because this is a line that I've heard him say in stand up anyway, where one of the women, like, because he's an outspoken atheist anyway.
Yeah.
Like, one of the women in the office, like, how can you, you know, not believe in anything and everything like that? And he's like, well, why do you and stuff? And she's like, well, if you don't believe in God, what stops you from going out and raping and killing as much as you want? And he's like, I do. I do go and kill and rape as much as I want. It just happens to be 0. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's absolutely
Just
brilliant.
great dialogue.
Yeah,
Yeah, and of course he
fantastic.
wrote the show as well.
Yeah.
So.
absolutely, you can
Yeah.
tell.
It was fucking
Yeah.
great writer, yeah.
And also Netflix again. This has been quite a controversial subject lately.
Oh yeah.
Lately,
Well,
for
okay,
like the
for the
last
last
20
since we were
years. Since we were kids, yeah.
Leaving Neverland.
His story, shall we say.
No, I've not watched this because in a way I'm kind of like, he's not there to kind
To
of
defend himself.
Well, he is.
Well,
in
he
spirit.
was. I mean, he. Oh,
I
jeez.
was waiting for that. That's why I
I'm
stopped
dropping the
doing it.
Michael Jackson jokes. I'm gonna moonwalk
This
all
isn't-
over this.
I don't know. This wasn't gonna be, say, like, in a way. I mean, this ties in with the surviving R. Kelly thing. No,
Right.
Don't
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
Spacey yet. We'll get there. It kind of ties in with that. We've had
Yeah.
a lot of these, don't we? And obviously, you had the
Yeah.
R. Kelly interview,
Yes.
which was then parodied by SNL within 8 hours and was
Of
the
course.
best thing I saw all day.
Yeah.
But go on then. So,
So
what was this? What was
Leaving
this like?
Neverland is a 4-hour documentary, and 30 minutes
Fuck
into it,
that.
30 minutes into it, I was just like, wow, Michael Jackson was the most amazing person ever. He went to these kids and he helped them, progress as dancers.
You never
helped
watched
them get...
Moonwalker, the movie?
No.
Because it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, but it's the fact that it's the story of two men now whose lives were deeply affected, and their families. It's
Right.
what caught me off guard was how the families of both the two boys that are in this story were affected by Michael Jackson. The
Right,
fact
yeah.
that these families adopted him like a son. Like, he would turn up. Like, it's like Michael Jackson coming into your house, and just being a friend, being friends with Dylan.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah.
like, wow, Michael Jackson's in my house. And Michael Jackson's like, hey, what do you want? There's a catalogue. Buy whatever you want. Come with me. Come to Neverland. We're going to go and have
Right.
a holiday.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
expenses
yeah,
paid. All
yeah.
expenses paid. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Your son's gifted.
Yeah.
I'm going to help him become super talented. As a parent, you're like, holy shit! The biggest celebrity on the planet is helping my son.
you did back in
achieve
the
this.
back in the 90s when Michael Jackson turned up at your house. You just gave him your children and went, please take them away. if Justin Bieber turned up at my house nowadays and went, I want to take Dylan away, I'd be like, no.
That's ignorant.
Oh no!
Nice.
So, but
3 minutes I was waiting for that.
it's a tough watch. Now
I
it
can
is, of
imagine
course,
what- I
it's
mean-
very biased.
Yeah, I was
that
gonna- it
Michael
must be,
Jackson
surely.
was a
Really?
rapist,
Yeah.
a
Because
pedophile,
I read
and a
somewhere
monster.
that
Like, I'm
they
not- don't get me
actually
wrong,
didn't
I'm not-
come to.
sorry.
They didn't actually come to an end at the end of the documentary to say this is definite evidence to say he did.
Well, because I'm assuming they haven't got any, and I'm not
That's
I'm
it.
not like a person who's like,
That's
oh,
it.
he never did it. I don't know, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'm not really a Michael Jackson guy or anything, but yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like, did we need this?
See, I watched. I read an interview with will.i.am recently, who said it's kind of completely pointless. You're digging up this history on Michael Jackson to kind of make money and bring attention to this serious thing, but you're not actually giving definite proof to say, oh, he definitely
this
was.
happened, yeah.
He definitely was, which is, I think will.i.am said, if he definitely was, it's absolutely disgusting because he knew Michael Jackson. They were
Right.
really close and collaborated a lot of times. But if he did do it, then that's really horrible. If he didn't do it and we're making TV shows over it, that's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
What I will
there's
say,
no- there's no
what
winner in this, is there?
this documentary
No,
does
that's it.
confirm is how broken all the families were that Michael Jackson ever touched. Now, literally, okay? Now, there were families in Australia that up and moved to LA to be with Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
And then Michael Jackson, after the boy grew up, he was just like, I'm off to find another little boy now. And this family was just like, but Michael, can we come to this event? And he's like, oh yeah, you can come, all expenses paid. The family would turn up, no expenses paid, no apartments, no nothing set up for them, forgotten, And what the father of one of these families, he was so depressed that his family were up and leaving the country because they were off to go move in with Michael Jackson. He committed suicide. He lost his family to Michael Jackson because he adopted himself into the family and took them. So families were destroyed, not just because of the sexual stuff that was going on, but because of the way that he was. It is a fascinating and dark watch.
Yes, it would be a fascinating watch, but then at the same time, we are talking about a news story that's been around for almost
a long
20
time.
years.
Yeah.
You know, when the news broke that Michael Jackson was possibly, maybe is allegedly, you know, little children. I was like, holy shit! How did we not see these signs of this man integrating? Because, like I said, I like Moonwalker the movie, but if you watch it, he integrates himself into the life of a bunch of children there as well, and takes them on fantastical journeys with fucking drug dealers. I mean, was he trying to tell us something in that film? You know, was he trying
inserted himself?
You know,
into their lives.
you know, did he try to use Joe Pesci as like a kind of Harvey Weinstein kind of, you know, obvious? Say, look, this is the world I'm in because
this is deep cuts.
I mean,
fucking
well,
Agent
yeah,
Orange.
well, I mean, you look at what R. Kelly did. Because he got caught. R. Kelly,
that motherfucker's guilty.
That motherfucker guilty. He up there with Bill Cosby. Him, Bill Cosby, Kevin Spacey, fucking Jimmy Savile, they're all in fucking jail. But Michael Jackson, right? He integrated himself into these families.
Sorry.
He integrated
David A.
himself into these
Halliday is winning
families
the
from
comments at the minute.
from a childhood where he had obviously been, you know, like, how old was he when he joined Jackson? When he was in Jackson 5? Like 8,
Well,
9?
Michael
he was a child.
had no childhood.
He had no childhood.
that was
They
a
were
child.
taking him to parties at fucking 12 and going, "Hey, put this up your nose." Why? Well, because people say it's really, really good for you.
Documentaries of you
And
been
then
watching, dude.
You don't need to see the documentaries. Hollywood's fucking Hollywood.
Yeah, and child actors, child celebrities.
child
go
actors
for
and
it.
child
I mean,
celebrities.
they get chewed up and spat out. It's
Michael Jackson got chewed up and spat out. Then when he got rich enough and could live on his own and had these houses, he had no
Gary's
family.
freaking out.
So then when he went and got all these other families, he didn't know how to really integrate with them because he wasn't a human being anymore. He was
an icon.
He
well,
was
you
well
I mean,
past
you've
that.
got to wonder about a guy that's
He was
like
a
essentially
god at some
he
point.
didn't get a childhood like everyone else did, and like that was
That's
always the
what all the
argument. That was
families
always his comeback to everything was always like, what, you know, why do you act like a child and why do you surround yourself with childish things? And he's like, I never had a childhood, and now I'm using my time to relive that.
See, now this is the weird thing, right? Before we move on to the subject, here's the last point I'm going to make, right? Every kind of wrong person out there who has done some nasty shit to children or fucking other adults usually ends up with some trophy, some visual proof of it in their home. Now, I never heard anything like, there was nothing in this 4-hour documentary of, and here underneath the stairway we found Michael Jackson's secret sex dungeon. You know, with his wild range of different sex toys
Is that
and
your
cameras. You know, where the camera? They found no cameras in
Is
their
that
van,
your
did
line? So if you were on the jury, you'd be like, yeah, but where's the sex dungeon at? We got all this DNA evidence. He's like, I don't see no sex dungeon.
Well, that's it. Unless he did it, and then they came in and they just completely cleaned the whole fucking house from top to bottom.
I imagine so.
But you'd have some kind of evidence left.
It's a difficult documentary to watch. It is fascinating, it's compelling, and it's disturbing. Especially when they go into details. So, yeah, you know, watch it with a pinch of salt. But the best thing to do is probably watch that and then go and watch a documentary which argues the other case. And then make your own decision from there. There was also another documentary on Netflix, and it's the disappearance of Maddie McCann. Which is one of the biggest
I can't
disappearing
watch
mysteries. Yeah, it's a horrible... Again,
a
another
lot of
horrible
people I know have watched
show.
it, and most people come back with sort of like, it's 8 episodes too long, for a start.
Yeah,
But
kind of.
I just kind of like, do we really need to like...
Man,
I do like crime documentaries though, and
that little girl's in the ocean. You ain't ever gonna find. I said this when that little girl went missing. If they didn't find her in the first 24 hours,
I don't believe that.
she was going to be not on this world anymore.
Yeah.
I've never looked really into this shit, and I mean,
it was hard to avoid it for so long. It was in
Oh
the
yeah, it was
press
everywhere.
and in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
newspapers
yeah,
and
it was
the
the
news.
biggest story. As
yeah,
you
but
think,
what I mean,
It's been 10 years now.
yeah,
it's
but
crazy.
what I mean is, I've never really looked into it to find the small print. You know, looking between the lines. A fucking documentary about it. I mean, who do you think took her?
I have no idea who did take her, but you know the investigation is still ongoing.
Yeah, that's crazy thing.
But it's also an inside look into the possible corruption, the fact that the family themselves were blamed for the disappearance or murder of their own child, and that derailed the investigation for so long that by the time they were released, they were advocated of the crime of killing their own child.
They left
the investigators were like, well, shit, now what do we do? We wasted all that time.
They left their 2 children unattended in a hotel room.
Yes, 3 children.
3 children.
3
yeah.
children. I never ever fucking do that shit. I can never leave Andy alone. He's fucking dangerous.
This is true. I can't be trusted with matches.
And the fact as well that she was the only one to go. The place was unlocked. Like I said, when you start looking into it, it gets really.
Oh, you'll fall down the rabbit hole on it for sure. I'll
and
be
that's
honest,
why 8
it's like,
episodes.
I'm like, I just don't want to watch it. I just like.
Yeah. Have they thought about looking on the dark web? She's probably on there.
Oh, you ain't right.
I mean, if you're gonna look for a small child, you're probably find her on the dark web. I don't know. I come up with an idea, and people look at me like, "Oh, I might as well just keep my mouth shut."
So moving away from this.
Yeah, I'm going to jump
to children
to a different something very entertaining.
I watched that love story film that
Romeo and Juliet.
No, the one on Netflix with who's the girl from Pitch Perfect? I've lost her name. The Australian girl.
Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson. Thank you. That movie she's in, where it's she gets sort of hit on the head and she ends up in a typical love story movie, and it is freaking hilarious.
What's it called?
I'm trying to think. It's on Netflix.
Oh man, I saw the fucking trailer for it as well. It did not look good.
No, seriously, I watched it with Dot because I was like, she wanted to watch
Rebel
it.
Wilson,
really, but. It's so funny.
I mean,
she's basically she's working in New York, and she's an architect, and she's unlucky in love, and it's all the classic stuff. And she's the one all the way through the movie that's like, "Oh, I hate all these love story tropes. It's all a bunch of bullshit and stuff." She gets mugged on the subway, hits her head, and wakes up in a classic tropey love story, and it is freaking hilarious. Liam Hemsworth is in it as like this cool, good-looking architect, obviously, who's like American at the start, and then when he comes in as the love interest in her story, he's back to being actually Australian, which she is as well. She's like, "Wait, how long have you been Australian?" She's like, "I've always been Australian." She went, "No, it's actually really funny."
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
With a kid, it is funny. Right. Yeah, it's good.
Now, here's something.
And no kids disappear in it. That's all
great. Yes, yeah. Well, I'm going to talk about something else which is quite horrific, but incredibly entertaining, especially if you love sci-fi and boobs. And that is Love, Death, and Robots, which is
I've been hearing a lot about this.
An 18-rated animated series of 18 films on Netflix. I think David Fincher was responsible for a couple of them.
How many episodes are there?
18 episodes.
So you spent 18 tissues?
Almost.
Nice.
I stopped watching this after 3 episodes, I ain't gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, the future's a bleak place if you're a woman.
Yes. Now, it did feel like every so often they put in nudity, which wasn't necessarily needed or added to the story at all.
So like Game of Thrones?
Well...
Yeah, no, like more gratuitous, because it was such a short story, so it's sort of like,
And here's some nudity and...
Quick! Here's some titties!
Title, tits, explosion,
Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, so. that's 2 of them.
But if I do recommend it, there are some great episodes in there. Suits, which is a fantastic short film where it's the post-apocalypse. You've got these farms, and this Starship Troopers style alien bugs keep attacking these farms.
Do they grow suits?
And these farmers have got giant mech suits with miniguns and rockets, and they have to defend their farms. And it starts off normal day, a couple of farmers there, and they're welding on their suits and powering up, and all of a sudden, massive giant alien. This one has no nudity.
Alien tits.
No nudity in this one.
It's
like an episode of Rick and Morty.
Can we shape a drop of like a tit?
Absolutely.
We could do that.
But it's you feel for these characters, and when these farmers start dying, and you're like, shit, they're all gonna die under this alien attack, know, and then something happens, and you're like, holy shit. And then the episode's over, and you're like, oh, I want that to be a whole film. There was there was one called Lucky 13, and it's about a fighter pilot who's first she gets given this ship that's come back from 2 operations, and its entire crew have died twice. Yet the ship has somehow survived, and they're like, yeah, you're a rookie, here you go. And then she takes it out, and then she starts surviving all these missions and bringing the crew back, and everyone's like, yeah, we're going on Lucky 13 because of all these missions. And then it gets to the mission where it doesn't look like Lucky 13's going to make it, and it's so intense. The animation is so beautiful, and the characterization, the music is very compelling watching. And then you do get a couple of episodes of it which are only a few minutes long, kind of funny, kind of quirky, and then you move on. You know, it's like any anthology show. You'll get some good ones and you'll get some terrible ones. But it's definitely entertaining, and I would want another season of it.
I'm looking forward to Twilight Zone that's coming out soon. That's got I think it's Jonathan Peele is the fucking host.
Yeah.
The guy from Get Out and Us, which I wikied Us. It's a bit. That's going to be a weird one to watch.
Yeah.
Us. Yeah.
No, but I definitely recommend Love, Death and Robots. You should check that one out.
One of my most recent purchases, I bought the Planet of the Apes box set.
Very good.
I went on a massive Planet of the Apes.
Was it like all of them?
Plus the new 3.
We already had at home the Tim Burton movie and the first one of the.
Next thing was going to be just take the Tim Burton out.
the first one of the remake, Rise of the Apes, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't own the other one." So I purposely went out and bought the complete box set of all the classics.
Yeah, love those films.
I watched the Tim Burton one, and you know what? It's not bad if you do not connect it at all to any of the
voice seems
Tim
to
Burton
suggest
movies.
it is, though, and it was not bad. It fucking is.
It's still bad.
Like I said, it's not bad because it's really hard for me to disconnect it from like the Charlton Heston ones.
Yeah.
But it's not bad because it's Mark Wahlberg, I suppose.
But oh my god, these fucking eggs!
Fucking eggs, man! They're all over. We fucking boxed in there. But I bought the classic box set, and it came with a documentary. With it, which is like 2 hours long, and it was a complete documentary about all of the 5 classic movies.
Yeah.
And amazing
I've seen that.
background into it. Roddy McDowell talking about the prosthetic makeup.
How they used to sit at different tables depending on what makeup they had
That's
on.
it.
There was a division
the chimps went with chimps, the orangutans went with orangutans,
it's like Gangs in New York where like fucking they would only sit with the Irish and stuff.
You know,
that's fucking awesome.
He said about how
I'm going full method
obviously
in this chimp suit.
It's like 1968, so the effects were the first of their type. But they were really quite thick, so they really had to emote a hell of a lot
to express.
So, I'm sat there and watching this documentary. I'm like, shit, that's why I kind of get behind Cornelius and is it Zira? His girlfriend is, because they're emoting on their face, and I get really behind them, and I cannot wait to get to Conquest. No, not Conquest. It's
Conquest is the 5th one.
Return, sorry, the one where they go back in time.
And
the 2 apes end up back on Earth. Because that is my all-time favorite one. That's the first one I watched. Realized it was Planet of the Apes. Then went back and watched the original. And the original with Charlton Heston.
It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. The first Planet of the Apes film. Absolutely love it.
The music, the way that works. I absolutely love the whole opening sequence before they get to the jungle. The whole desert wasteland. The lightning. The fact it feels like an alien planet.
Yeah.
And then that reveal at the end. Great twist.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest twists or endings to a film
it's
ever.
Classic, it's absolutely. It's been imitated and replicated multiple times, hasn't it, throughout the years? Fantastic.
Yeah. Andy, you got anything else that you want to catch up with?
I'm trying to think. Actually, I did write it down and made a point.
We got WrestleMania soon.
Yeah, we do.
We got WrestleMania. By the time this goes out,
oh my god, I can't wait for 8 hours of overbooked wrestling.
This will go out. This will go out the first weekend in April. Plan again, first weekend of April.
Yeah.
Which will be the
weekend of
WrestleMania weekend.
WrestleMania.
We got big WrestleMania. I mean, we're looking at 4 hours. You've got
8.
fucking
8 to 4 hour pre-show.
It's a 17 match.
Mate, Gargano versus fucking.
Mate, Adam
Cole. Who's got money's on Adam Cole?
I don't know actually, because it feels like Gargano should probably win the title. I don't know. I can't call it. It's 2 out of 3 falls.
Do you know what would be lovely? Do you know what would be lovely, right? Okay, this is my prediction for it. Okay, NXT. Gargano wins the title over Adam Cole. Adam Cole loses, right? And the Undisputed Era are down there whooping the shit out of Gargano, and Gargano pulls it off. Yeah? Then we get to WrestleMania. Right, Gary has no idea. God's over here, guys. God's over here.
This is something Triple H runs.
Right,
he's involved.
Yeah, so. Triple H is listening to this shit. He's been in Plymouth. He knows us.
Yeah,
perfect,
we
right?
totally met him.
Gets to WrestleMania, right? Rollins versus Lesnar, right? Main event. Everyone's wanting Rollins to win. Rollins has the chance to take out Lesnar. Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era run in, whoop the shit out of fucking Rollins. It looks like they sided with Lesnar. Then they whoop the shit out of Lesnar too, and they stand tall. right there in the middle of WrestleMania.
No titles.
With no titles, but they're going to be on the next
You
night
could
of Raw.
book WWE,
Mate,
mate,
they
I'll
are
tell you.
the undisputed era on the next night of Raw, coming out and saying we fucking own
There's always
this
the
place.
call-ups, isn't they? So
We
that's
own
why,
this
that's why I
place.
tend to lean towards Gargano winning and then them going up
Mhm.
as a call-up. Maybe I don't know, mate. There's so much going on because you've now got Worlds Collide is also happening again.
Yeah.
But they've mixed in everyone, not just all the NXTs and stuff.
Yeah,
so
all the NXT
there's
UK
there's
as well.
NXT UK tapings. No freaking idea, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's gonna be a long weekend. But I watched I took me and the kid and the wife went to see How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Great, yeah.
Which was fucking excellent.
It's good.
And it's like at the end of it, I won't spoil anything. But then like Jessica leans over to me, and she was like, I was like, she looked at me, she was like, Dad, I think I'm going to cry. And I'm like, it's fine. Totally cool, man. It's fine. Donna's just looking at shaking her head. Just, what the fuck is wrong?
This wife's got more balls than both of them.
Oh, dude, totally she has. Yeah. But we've been playing Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare.
Yeah,
He's
he's just recently going to that.
Came over games were going, so I've been playing that with a kid. That's immense, man.
I told you, you got to text me to tell me when you're on so we can do 2-player.
Yeah, totally. We have to get Dylan on and we can all, definitely. 9-9, Brooklyn 9-9, represent.
No, here we go.
Obviously, fuck you, dude. It's the best series ever. Friday nights, I finish at the gym, I come home, make a huge fucking sandwich, a couple of beers, and we all sit down and watch 9-9 together. It's brilliant. Season 6 has been phenomenal. Hoping to find out it gets picked up for a season 7 again, probably by a different studio again. I don't fucking know, but yeah,
it's got a lot of support.
It's definitely my favourite season at the minute, show at the minute, and this is one of the best seasons. I don't think it's taken a dip personally. Absolutely,
mate, it's Terry Crews. Anything with
Terry
Crews
is amazing. Yeah, Captain Hull. Oh my god, it's just I just love that man. He's so funny.
He's the captain is the guy from The Mist who wanted to take the people outside.
Okay,
the
yeah,
time,
the lawyer
He was
guy.
in,
Yeah.
He was in Rise of the Silver Surfer as well. He was the
he's the
colonel,
general.
Yeah.
He's very intimidating.
I watched Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot with Sam Elliott.
I haven't seen that.
Sam Elliott.
I mean, the title doesn't bury the lead.
No.
It's got flashbacks in it with the guy. I don't know his name. But the guy who played Poldark. You know that.
I remember the show.
Oh yeah, because I'm always sat in front of the TV Sunday night watching fucking Poldark.
Well,
fuck,
dude, I had to be told this. You know,
fucking Poldark.
No, that was my wife. Donna was sort of like,
the wife was making me watch Poldark.
I was like, what's Poldark? It's a fucking like
Black Pole.
No, it's a
it's an fucking 16th century fucking TV show.
Anyway, he plays the young Sam Elliott character at CCC in the Second World War. Like,
does he have a small mustache?
He does.
I knew it. Sam Elliott and that mustache go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're inseparable.
The government come and find him because they've discovered Bigfoot and they need him to kill him because Bigfoot is carrying a very deadly virus that will kill everyone. It's a fucking weird movie, dude. You gotta watch it. I recommend you watch it. It's a fucking weird movie.
I mean, it can't be as weird as Mandy.
It's up there, yeah. I mean, but what is as bad as Mandy? I watched Independence Day
Resurgence
2.
Resurgence.
I fucking enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's brain dead, stupid entertainment.
Right? I tell you what, we all watched it together.
I actually watched it again this week.
Yeah,
as well.
dude. We watched it. I was like, do you know what? They're hitting all the nostalgia
Jeff
buttons. They
Goldblum,
brought
I know,
everyone back.
yeah,
They're hitting everything. And I watched it. I sat there with Donna and Jessica, and I'm like, oh, Liam Hemsworth's in that as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, because whenever I see Liam, I was like, oh, it's the lesser Hemsworth. and,
Their store and his little brother.
We sat there and having a few beers and watching. I was like, this am I just drunk or is this fucking excellent? And even Donna was like, no, this is all right. But I was like, do you know what though? If someone doesn't punch an alien in the face, I'm gonna be devastated. I swear to God, on cue, Liam Hemsworth punches an alien in the face, and I was like, yeah.
I was with that film right up until the swarm of aliens at the end.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I mean, that was kind of.
Yeah, I was up to
the
it.
first thing turns up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna kill it, and I'm like, probably wouldn't though.
Yeah. It's like
you
it hasn't attacked you
in
yet.
20 years.
Why would you?
Don't just hit it. And it's like, yeah, we got it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure 15 minutes in, we're good. We're good to go.
Yeah. It ends on such a
fucking
cliffhanger though.
I did like the fact that they went, this is probably where we'd be 20 years after having all this alien tech.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
moving forward, I was like, you know what, this is all right.
Yeah,
Even
the
they
world
got,
building was great.
Yeah, that was really good.
I think why the world building was so great was because that they were planning for the longest time to turn it into a TV series, and so all that world building would have needed to be there.
So the work was already done.
The work
in a
was
way.
done.
Yeah, totally.
It's Jeff Goldblum, mate. Anything with Jeff Goldblum in works.
I
Pretty much.
tell you what I did. Well, I've not done this yet, but I've got tickets in May. I'm going up to London to watch Hollywood Babylon live. Kevin Smith's podcast.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
So
yes,
yeah, I'm
yes.
gonna go up and watch that.
Nice.
And thanks to my wonderful wife being involved with Hannah's Rock Fit thing, I got free tickets to download. So
Sick.
they're gonna be on stage at the Download Festival doing their Rock Fit thing, and I was like, I'll drive.
Chauffeur, yes.
Yeah, I
Totes.
seriously, I'll just stand around,
Let's go.
listening. Yeah.
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
Okay, so shall we get into the news?
Yes.
Well, some unfortunate news to begin with, but it's custom that we do this, and that is to.
It's not a very good custom, but we seem to have fucking
Well, all of those
adopted it.
famous people that have influenced, our
Yeah,
lives
give
with
them a
the
shout
films
out.
that they've been in deserve a shout out.
Yeah.
So Larry Cohen has passed away at the age of 77. Larry has produced some of the most memorable works in both television and film as a writer, producer, and director. I will always
Why are you laughing?
remember
Yeah, exactly,
Maniac
like-
Cop and the Maniac Cop trilogy. Great films. But I also really always loved Q the Winged Serpent.
Q the Winged Serpent, dude.
I've not seen
I
that.
don't know. it's the way the guy was like, he's a really famous director, and I'm like, Q the Winged Serpent.
Yeah.
Really?
Man, Q the Winged Serpent is a classic.
I know.
I know you don't like it.
No,
And I know a lot of people will stick their noses up to Larry Cohen and go, cheap,
No.
schlock, awful.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, I know I love Larry Cohen for making cheapy, schlocky movies like Q the Winged Serpent because he made it work. Seriously, there's a fucking giant dragon thing flying around New York, just picking people up from their rooftops and dropping them or eating them. No, he's taking them back to his nest and biting their heads off.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's got Bill from Kill Bill trying to go around and kill it.
Yeah.
Sounds fucking sweet, dude.
It
Yeah.
Was
is-
it David Carradine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty sweet, but it
This
is.
podcast, load that up now.
It's
Gonna watch Q the
also
Winged Serpent.
it's
Why are we not
also
watching this?
it's also so low budget that Larry Cohen managed to make a lot of his films because, like, he made The Stuff.
Yes, yeah.
You seen The Stuff
No. Yes. Oh, yes.
with the
Sorry.
yogurt shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that film is that film gave me fucking nightmares when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
fucking.
Put them off yogurt.
Yeah, seriously, I was sat in the front room watching this fucking shit, and I'm like, this is going to be a great film. And then I'm thinking, I'm hungry. I'm not going to my fridge. Fuck that shit, It's when the guy kind of vomits it all up.
Yeah.
And then didn't he turn into zombies?
Kind of, yes.
after?
Yeah. But yeah,
It's a
very
shame,
sad.
yeah.
Very sad. Also, an early death. Luke Perry has
Yeah,
passed
this
away at the
shocked
age of
me, man. This is
52.
crazy.
Yeah.
He starred in a wealth of television shows from Oz, one of my favourite prison dramas,
Beverly Hills.
to Beverly Hills.
90210, yeah.
He also played Pike in 1992's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what, the movie?
Yeah,
The movie,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man,
And he was
I
also
remember
in The Fifth Element.
Yes, yeah.
He was,
He's
in
had a
the
lot
beginning
of
bit
roles, a
with
lot
the
of small
Egyptian.
roles.
Oh, yeah. Are these lights? He was the...
Yeah.
Neither one of those characters,
Didn't
but he was in it.
Didn't he die? Died around about the same time as Keith Flint, didn't he? The
Yeah.
lead singer of Prodigy, who's just recently passed
Passed
away
away
this,
as well,
this
yeah.
month as well,
Yeah.
which is harsh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And this one's the one that caught me off guard the most, and the one
Guy
that
needs some
upset me the
tissues.
most
Yeah.
is the death of Joe Palladio,
Yeah.
who's passed away at the age of 70. And he appeared in many horror films, including Empire of the Dark, Wishmaster, Alienator, and The Evil Inside Me. And
I
I'm
love
pretty sure that
Wishmaster.
99% of most people would have never heard of any of those films.
Oh, I love Wishmaster.
Wishmaster
So much.
Wishmaster's
is,
great.
is a great one.
I love
But
that movie.
the most famous film, of course, that he ever appeared in was George A. Romero's Day of the Dead as Captain Rhodes, with some of the most memorable quotes ever. One of the best death scenes in zombie lore, films, TV ever.
Wasn't he also in Dawn?
He was in
He
Dawn
was
of
in
the
Dawn
Dead.
in the deleted scene.
Yeah, he was with the
He
guy. Anybody got any cigarettes?
Fucking amazing actor. And the sickest thing was, it's like you're looking through, and it's like Keith Flint, lead singer of Prodigy, has died, and it's like all over the news, and they're planning on this massive state funeral, blah blah blah. Luke Perry, oh my God,
No, stop. Go back.
What?
They're planning a state funeral for Keith Flint. from
Well, they
Prodigy.
had fucking, they had people lining the streets and fucking, the parade.
Shit-faced
They were
on
showing,
pills. Like,
But it was the fact that I saw it pop up on my Facebook that somebody else had shared it from somewhere else to a page that I've joined to about Joe Pilato, and I was like, that's the biggest one for me.
Yeah, absolutely,
you know that
dude,
you know why isn't there more of these kind of hey look. Well, I suppose there's a reason why there's not so many hey look who died today, because there'd be a lot of deaths.
Well, yeah.
New business venture.
Hey, look who died today.
Yeah.
.com.
Oh no.
Boom, dude.
Makes her feel better. I'm
Yeah.
gonna move into the next news story.
Yeah, okay.
And that is that Gremlins at Warner Brothers Television and Amblin are looking at adapting the films for a new cartoon series. And this adaptation is set to follow a young version of the shop owner, Mr. Wing, as his early adventures with the Mogwai Gizmo.
Yeah.
No Joe Dante, no Zach Galligan. Then moving ahead with Gremlins.
Every week the fucking Gremlins end up coming out, they end up defeating them, and there's a moral to the story, kids.
Yeah. How many times is that Mogwai going to get wet?
Yeah, a lot.
Name your sex tape. Boom. But, like, is he like, this is why he retires to a tiny shop in New York, because he's like, look, seriously, I had these years of adventures where this little shit just got wet every week.
Yeah.
And I just, oh my god, it was a nightmare. It took years off my life. I'm only 27. Look at me.
I reckon
Just
by
all wizards and
episode
shit.
3 he'll be like, here's an umbrella. Now let's go outside. Shit.
When he never learns.
No, he keeps leaving it at home and then keeps getting wet. Actually, no, it's gonna be Mogwai and Mr. Wing in the universe of 7, because it's always raining there.
Oh god. What's in the box?
What's in the box? Grip Oh, nice.
Like that comes out.
Next TV series that's going ahead now is the Time Bandits TV series. It's
I
now
love that film.
got its director for the first episode, and this is a director that everyone is loving right now, and that is Taika Waititi.
Oh,
He was the director of the latest Thor movie.
Yeah, he did Ragnarok.
Nice.
Ragnarok.
They've just,
Nice.
I haven't watched it yet, but they've just dropped the pilot for What We Do in the Shadows as well, based on his.
Yes,
Need to watch.
yes,
I need
yeah.
to watch that.
Love.
Need to watch that.
But Terry Gilliam's also going to be involved in overseeing the new Time Bandit show as
he has to
creative
be.
consultant.
Yeah, he has to be.
So I'm kind of excited for that one.
Nice.
It's a film that's been on our to-do review list for like 7
Ever.
years
Forever.
since we started.
Forever.
We should do it soon.
Yeah, we should.
Now here's
Go back, come. No, was it? It's like he says, there's the big fucking head coming down from
Oh,
God.
no, it's
Zardos.
so weird.
Come back, bring me the map, and it's just like run. Yeah,
I think you were doing the bit from South Park. It was, I desire macaroni. It's
that's
Moses.
Tron.
Yeah, but it's Moses.
Yeah,
here's a news story that has come up quite a few times. Ian. I know you're a little bit
for
tired of talking about this one,
fuck's
but James Gunn has been rehired for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Good.
Didn't he
After
get-
all
all
of
this-
It was fucking ridiculous.
he got
This was.
rehired like 3 podcasts ago, and then he got fired again. And okay,
What?
right.
I didn't think he did. I was
No,
gonna
he
say-
didn't.
Let,
No,
let,
what
let's
are you talking about,
let's just accept. I already said that he was going to come back. In the very last podcast, I even said if Vince McMahon can get Hulk Hogan back, fucking they can get James Gunn back. And
Dave Batista can
lo
get
and
James
behold,
Gunn back.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll
you
tell you
know.
what, because I know, like, reading a lot of stories, it seems a lot of that was all down to Dave Batista really being like, "Fuck you, we want
Yeah.
it back."
Oh, yeah.
And me and Donna rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 again the other day, and one I just remembered like, I love this movie, it's so good. But it is Drax the movie, and I
Right.
think Dave Batista is like, after that last one, I want him back because he makes this all about me. Like, he has all the funniest lines, he has all the best bits in it. So no wonder Dave Batista was like, get him back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
It's like I don't want to go back to WrestleMania again for
Him
fuck's sake.
doing Suicide Squad 2. I mean,
Is it a
I
reboot,
rewatched
a remake?
well, I don't know. I rewatched Suicide Squad again the other day because the kid wanted to watch it, and I was just every
so
time
bad.
I watch it, it just gets worse.
Yes.
You know when you
no,
watch
it
some
is
of these
terrible.
lesser comic book movies that
it's-
you think, you eventually you get over the fact that it wasn't as good as you wanted, and you just pick out the bits you like. Suicide
Yeah.
Squad just seems to get fucking shitter and shitter every time I watch it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Like, what did you hate about it?
Or just from the start to the finish, really.
No,
Yes.
No, give me one day. If you like
Okay,
if
so
you hate
I mean,
it from
alright,
beginning
worst,
to
alright,
end,
worst bad guys of all time. Those fucking the fucking nothing bad guys that they're fighting.
what the
Just
zombie
the
fucking
fucking
thing?
the zombified
Yeah.
burn. They look like sausages from that Rate My Plate
No,
Facebook page.
they
like, you know.
make me think of the fucking things from Last of Us.
Yeah, which were
fungus.
better.
Yeah.
Because at least you could see them.
Yeah, that is the problem
like,
with the
whole
movie.
fucking
It is
plan
dark.
at the end where like they don't even have
But
a
you
discussion,
don't
and
need to
matey's
see
like,
them.
just lads, swim under there and just press the bomb, which will go off the second you push it. But I'll leave that detail out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
That's why they called it Suicide Squad. They were going to die.
no,
on the way.
those were the Marines they sent in.
One of them actually goes to
Suicide
jump
Squad
away
lived.
and gets his head blown. Yeah.
It was-
Harley Quinn, though.
Oh,
I mean,
mate.
I gotta say, I put it
and
out
I
there
love
with Sucker
Jared Leto.
Punch.
I like
love
Jared Leto.
I like Jared
Margot
Leto.
That
Robbie.
was not a good portrayal of the Joker. I didn't enjoy it.
No.
Mate, if hopefully Joaquin Phoenix is good because
It's a standalone. It's a standalone
Mate,
DC Universe movie.
if
I watched
not,
the latest trailer for it as well, and it looked really. I was like, "There's promise there." But we were talking earlier because we said about when we both watched Captain Marvel when they had the latest Shazam trailer.
yeah.
And the latest Shazam trailer, we both were kind of like, "Oh, that makes me want to go watch it." And I wonder
Yes.
if there's a little bit of overrun of like, Aquaman was good. So maybe it's like kind of when I do homework with Jessica and she gets her spelling right, and I'm like, "See, DC, you can do it if you try."
No,
She's like, "You want to encourage him?" I was like,
no,
"Let's go
that's
see
the
Shazam."
problem. They've spent too long being fucking serious and depressing because that's what they had with Superman and Batman. That now they've gone, well, we've got Aquaman and now we've got Shazam, and let's see how friendly we can go because look at Marvel's doing it. Shazam, I gotta say, the last trailer fucking ruined it for me.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought
totally.
that new
That
trailer
trailer
was-
sold me.
Yeah.
I
the
was
film.
really,
absolutely.
really behind Shazam. I was really looking forward to it. And then I watched the newest trailer when I went to see Captain Marvel. And you know what I realised? It's, Billy Batts, he's a really good kid. And, he's got this pure of heart soul. And so, you know what? I'm going to give him some fucking magical powers and turn him into this superhero. So now he's a fucking superhero and he walks around buying beer and talking to chicks and being probably a complete dick while the fucking villain runs around beating up the fucking city. And then Billy Batts goes, oh, you know what? I should be the hero. They'll have a fight. He gets knocked down. He gets back up, knocks out the villain at the end of the movie.
I like big and I like superhero films combined. It's gonna work.
That
Yeah.
that reason.
I don't.
So-
Yeah, right. Okay, you're on record there.
Yeah.
You're on record. He is on record there
What?
saying
I'm
it's
I'm
gonna
going to
work.
the cinema to see it. The film's already sold itself to me on that
we'll
last
go
trailer.
together. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some
Mate,
fun.
you two can Dutch rudder each other at the back of the cinema.
I'm
For I give a fuck. It's not gonna beat Marvel. Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Marvel gonna
Calm down.
smash.
Neither of us
DC.
said that.
No.
Yeah.
The next Marvel
Captain-
movie is Endgame.
Yeah,
Nothing's touching that.
Captain Marvel was fucking badass. Shazam is going to come a close second to that, and then Avengers is going to just leave DC in the dust.
Well, I mean the Endgame is going to leave superhero movies in the dust.
And,
Well, no, Infinity War left them all in dust.
Yeah, right.
and for me,
This one hopefully going to turn that shit back.
yeah, for me, I was hoping Shazam was going to be a stand. You know how Deadpool's a fucking standalone. Like you can watch Deadpool and not actually,
really, because he cameos with the other X-Men.
Yeah,
So-
You can watch you can watch Deadpool movie and not have to watch any other superhero movie. You don't have to watch
Sure.
any X-Men's or Fantastic Fours or Batman's or Superman. It's just Deadpool. That's what I was kind of hoping for Shazam. But
No, because I
fear
mean,
it's-
like Deadpool obviously has got that higher, that adult rating, so it's like that's not what Shazam's all about. Because, like you said, at the end of the day, he is like a 14, 15-year-old child.
Yeah.
It's about the story. It is. You nailed it. Dude. It's fucking big in
Yeah.
superhero form. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
So I'm all for it. And now you're making me wish that even though he's too old, they cast Tom Hanks.
right. Yeah.
Put him in that fucking suit and I'd be like, do you know what? I'm fine with this.
Big
Fucking
teeth.
de-age him, just
Yeah.
de-age him like they do.
No,
and-
for don't de-age him,
like,
just
you
have
know.
him out like that. And he doesn't even have to fly or run around. He just walks around with like a cup in his hand. He's like, it's got nothing in it. I just hold this cup because I'm Tom Hanks. And the villains fall at his feet.
Yeah, dude, it's Tom Hanks.
It's Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. Oh, it's like Batman and Robin. That'd be a better Batman versus Superman movie.
Denzel versus Tom Hanks. Not characters.
No,
but
just fight.
like in a
just
Bubba
in
Hotep style thing, like they portray real people in a retirement home.
Yes. We still do.
I'll invest in your movie.
Speaking of actors coming out of retirement homes, Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Segue, dude. Well played.
Bill and Ted are going to be facing the music soon.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted 3. They've literally done an announcement video.
I'm down for this.
Celebrating the fact that the project, is now
Naming your
going
sex
ahead.
tape.
Nearly 30 years after the last Bill and Ted movie. They said that the film will be due out in 2020 and is going to be directed by the guy who directed Galaxy Quest.
Is he still alive?
Oh, I love that movie.
Is his name Dead Parasol? Because
I think it's David, but I think I might have just got his name wrong.
Well, Now his name is Dead
I
Parasite.
was going to say, because immediately I said, is he still alive? And then realised his first name was Dead. I was like,
No, that's not his name.
Dude, is Galaxy Quest not the best movie though?
Oh, it is great.
Like Sam Rockwell,
Sigourney Weaver,
Alan
dude,
Rickman.
those
Alan
fucking
Rickman.
aliens when they come down. and-
You are our last
You
hope.
are our last hope.
Station.
Fuck, that's great.
I'm down for this, and I'm even down for even if Bill and Ted are just playing like their dads,
Yeah.
you know, and the kids go back.
No, it's all about them.
Or if no, what I'm saying is I would have been down for even if they completely changed it and said, look, we can only have Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then it'll be someone else. I'll be like, I don't care. I want a Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah, but I think
you know, I love
they're
the whole
kind
Bill
of
and
doing
Ted
that with
aspect.
the
They are.
Ghostbusters, aren't they?
Yeah,
So I think
yeah, that's a
that
torch
would-
passing movie.
Yeah,
Bill and
yeah,
Ted
yeah.
is not.
So,
It is them.
so even getting Alex Winter back, I mean, I love Alex Winter. I
Yeah.
loved him in Lost Boys, Bill and Ted, and I loved him in Freaks. If you've seen Freaks.
Basically, you
That's
just
it.
named all his movies.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
that's
named
it.
all his
I also
movies.
loved him in every movie he did.
Keanu Reeves. I mean, fucking Parenthood was brilliant with fucking Keanu Reeves. In.
I like Bill and Ted 2, also with Alex Winter.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah.
Point Break was kind of good. Speed's all right. John Wick.
Can't go wrong with Keanu Reeves.
We cannot go
Can't
wrong with
do
Keanu.
it.
We need to get Keanu Reeves on a podcast. That'd
We
be
do.
great.
I feel like he'd do it after that story
Yeah.
you were saying about where he got on the bus and stuff.
That's it. We need to find him, make his plane break down, get him in a car with us, and then record a podcast with him. Where every now and again we just get him to say guns, lots of guns.
No, just every time you say something that you think's good, you just get him to react with like, "Whoa!"
No,
In fact, you don't even need to get him on. You just get that sound.
because I'm gonna save that for Owen Wilson.
Oh no, no, get both of them on.
Whoa! A whoa off
Oh no.
with
Ric Flair.
Oh, God.
whoa.
Just gonna enter an infinite loop.
Yeah.
It'll never stop.
Oh, I've gone.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, now here's a news story that I've been, I'm going to talk about it because it's one of my favourite stories, and that is Stephen King's The Dark Tower.
Okay.
It was roughly abused for its cinematic release
You still saw
a
it.
few
didn't you?
years
Still
ago.
saw it, dude.
Like that Leaving Neverland documentary.
Worse. This touched me worse. 'Cause I was actually invested in the Dark Tower story before
Yeah.
it got.
This hurt worse than watching Wash die in the cinema.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was horrible.
Mm.
But now
Still, too soon. Too soon.
the origin story of Roland Deschain. They're looking at doing the pre-story. So before book one even,
Okay.
which was explored in graphic novel form. By Stephen King,
Yeah.
set before the novels. It's a great shorter story that, if it does well, definitely then you can go on and take that character through the Dark Tower saga.
Yeah.
Get his origin done right, then move on. But it's going ahead. They're going to do the first season and hope to do the encounter with the Man in Black. Obviously, everyone that Roland knows dies, and Roland is then off to go and pursue the Man in Black.
Oh, thanks for that.
I mean, he's
gonna
on his
Oh, I'm
fucking-
sorry. Did he beat you to Wikipedia?
Well, yeah. Actually, no, I think I Wikipedia ages
Yeah.
ago. I just forgot.
just get the character done right.
Do you think, though, that the Dark Tower... I mean, I've never read it, and you have talked about it, forever. And I've always kind of held...
Oh, this is your thing all over. isn't
This
it?
is
So-
why,
Yeah.
this is why I kind of always held it as a... I don't want to kind of know it because, it's kind of Gary's thing. So then when they made the film out of it, I was like, they
Thanks.
just shit all over Gary's favourite thing. But I just don't think...
Such a
Do love
dick.
you.
I just
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because they took something that shouldn't have been adapted, basically. I mean, yeah, you can adapt a lot of Stephen King stuff, Pet Sematary, It, The Shining,
Everything.
They will be.
But you
I was going to
can't-
say 2 of those are coming out.
But
this
you
year.
cannot do everything because everything just cannot be.
Well, no. It turns out you can. You just can't do all of them well.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to do all of them, you do
Because-
Castle apparently, which was good.
The way you've seen the Dark Tower and the way they may present the Dark Tower are two separate things.
At the moment, yes.
There's going to be somebody out there who will probably go, "I watched the Dark Tower movie. It wasn't bad."
No, but
And
yeah,
Gary
I
would
read
Wicker
look,
Man them.
Nice. But the way you've described it is, I don't think that they can. And again, I've not read it, but the way you've described the Dark Tower series, I don't think they can do it unless they go full on Game of Thrones level
Yes.
of
Yeah, budget.
budget
Yeah,
and
yeah.
involvement.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Now,
Yeah.
I think that in order to do it properly and to do some justice to it, it needs to be a series, and there needs to be films in between, because there are moments in the books where it hits like epic grand spectacle of battle sequences, stories, landscapes. I'm like, you know, some bits are great for a film, and others where you need all the character build up and development, where it's literally, you know, 4 guys, or, you know, 3 guys, you know, a disabled lady and a creature on a road trip, and that is the 7 books is them on a road trip to get to the Dark Tower and find the Man in Black. But it's the events that happen to them along the way in this apocalyptic world. It's so compelling to. You know,
but you just said that. I mean, immediately when you said some sections are epic scale, the only way it would work in a TV show, I feel, is if they did it like South Park did, and have, you know, the cowboy stood there and the camera looking at him and he's going, "Oh my god, this battle's so amazing! You should see the giant walkers going towards with their lasers. Thousands have just died. Oh my god, this is stellar!" And you never see it.
There is one book in the series. It's like 900 pages long, and they don't go anywhere. They stay in one place and listen to the priest from Salem's Lot give his story, and they just sit there and listen to him the entire book. Yeah, because of course, you know, the Dark Tower links all of the Stephen King works.
That would be a better series than Castle Rock. If they just make Dark Tower, but every now and again they drop into another universe, which is a Stephen King universe. Like they step for a teleport.
Dude, season 2 they might.
Yeah, they step through a portal and it's like,
good. Like,
what is this? Oh, it's the Overlook Hotel, and they have to spend the whole episode in the Overlook
They do
Hotel.
Time travel. They do jump for alternate dimensions in the series.
It's obviously like characters from they're in the Stand as well, aren't they? Stuff
yes,
like that.
the Man in Black is Randall Flagg from the Stand.
Yeah. They should just get.
I've never read all of Stephen King's stuff, but I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, if you read the Dark Tower, you'll read all of it.
Kind of. And one of the last stories that I do want to bring up, we've mentioned Game of Thrones, is George R.R. Martin has not released his latest book yet, and people are wondering why.
Yeah,
and news has just broke out that he's
probably not written.
He's been working with FromSoft on an unannounced game which could be announced at this year's E3. Ooh. Now, if you don't know who FromSoft are, they are the developers of the Dark Souls franchise.
Yeah.
And so it looks like they are working on an open world RPG with George R.R. Martin creating this new IP with them, a whole new story, new characters, new setting that isn't Game of Thrones.
Oh right, I was going to say
no, it's not set in Game of Thrones. It is a whole new world. And if it's coming
from
Soft,
what kind of world? Like a medieval kind of Dark Souls?
We're going to guess a Game of Thrones-esque type of world where, you know, it's going to have dragons and magic and monsters and demons. But instead of the Dark Souls and Bloodborne universe where the world has ended, you know, it's in its final stages of decay, you know, going back in time and watching a world fall into that state, maybe.
That's cool.
You know, but I'm excited. It's one of the reasons why I tune into E3 every year, is because that's the time, the one day where I come along to the advertisers and go, okay, I'm here. Show me what you got. Yeah. Because for the most time, I'm like, advert skip. You know, don't care for trailers.
You know what you're rocking up for with E3.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I just recently watched the announcement for the Borderlands 3 trailer. Yawn.
Yeah, I'm not into looter shooters, so
not anymore. I'm
more Gearbox for that matter.
It was never going to be as good as that previous one where they introduced the main character, where he's like inside his head talking, and then when he's shouting at that woman, and he's like, "I'm the master of the poop train," and that's. I was like, good enough. Just never go past that.
They do small little character bits very well. That gives each villain some character before you shoot them with 1,000 rounds. Because bullet sponges.
Yeah, no.
I'm just not a fan of looter shooters, so I'm also not a fan of Gearbox.
Yeah, but you guys were playing Borderlands 2, I remember, for a while.
I never finished it.
That was it. I was waiting for the whole, hey, get on this, we're going to fucking play this. And it never came, and you guys just went off. And now, for some reason, they dropped Borderlands 3. I was like, really? I thought Borderlands was dead. And everyone's like, this game's... The trailer looks amazing. I'm like, the trailer looks amazing?
Well, that's the idea of mostly.
We've been fooled by that shit before, though.
Well, no, been fooled by Gearbox.
Yes, by that shit before.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, the thing is, that's usually where all the money goes. Though.
Colonial Marines.
I mean, weirdest thing.
More on that later.
I've never seen like a FromSoft trailer.
Right.
You know, I've never like at E3 they've never dropped the trailer.
Yeah, they did one for Sekiro a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, but that was a while ago. I'm looking forward to Sekiro.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
get off fucking Red Dead though.
That's not happening
Never
anytime
happening
soon.
anytime soon, is it?
Well, we're going to bring
Before, can I, sorry,
Yeah,
just before,
sure.
because I realize we're coming up to the end of the break, but I would like to mention something that happened recently.
Oh, yeah, I got something to mention as well, but you go first.
So, we all, well, my wife decided she's doing a course at the minute and she needed a night out.
Sure.
Yeah, Karen.
So, we all got a few of us together. Yeah, we went down to one of our local pubs. Yourself, you
Yeah,
lady wife, Linda, and a few
I
other
finished
friends were
work
there.
after a 13-hour
So
day of work.
Ian rocked up, having just finished work, and you know, it's a Weatherspoons, which if you don't know, if you don't live in England, is a kind of like, you know, big chain of places, all cheap and cheerful essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Ian is normally what? You're about a 2-beer guy, 2-3 beers normally.
Yeah, I
Last
was
year for the
at
evening?
least 4 beers in by the time Andy turned up.
So you went to about 8, I think. We counted at the end of the night, and we have me and a friend of mine, we have a club that we belong to on Facebook, and we have this joke in the club where if you post the table number, you can go on the Weatherspoons app and order stuff. So we were getting free drinks sent over all night.
Yeah,
and stuff,
awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of drinking going on. Now this gentleman gets a little bit too many sheets to the wind at this point, and a buddy of ours, Mike, is there. And now as well, also we've had like the bar manager come right up to him in time to keep his fucking voice
Ian.
down because
Yeah,
he's being
yeah.
too loud and rowdy. And at one point I'd moved because like, to give you an example what Ian's like on a night out, I went to the bar, I come back, my phone's not where I left it. Now, so
Yeah.
so the first thing I do, because I've
This
known
was
this fucker.
Ninja.
Oh
This
yeah,
was
okay. Right,
Ninja.
let me tell my version of it first. Because I've known this fucker for like nearly 20 years. I'm like, straight away I just go, Ian, give me my phone. I don't have your phone. I don't have your, I was like, just give me my phone.
And the fact that I haven't
have
got it,
your
I can
phone.
be honest.
I haven't got it. Blah blah blah. I was
But
like,
I know where it
okay,
is.
you've got, just give me the phone. He's like, no, I haven't got it. No. So I'm like, someone fill my phone. My phone's always on fucking silent, so obviously nothing happens.
You're listening
I'm
for a
like,
vibration.
"Fuck." So I go, turn around, walk over to the bar, and just say, dude, has anyone handed in a phone? Blah blah blah. As I turn around, this fucking idiot's handing my phone to one of the other guys at the table, and I walk over and I'm like, give me it. And he's like, oh, I fucking got you good, bitch. And I'm like, I said multiple times I knew you had my phone.
You got up and walked away.
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
he's like. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got you. So anyway, at some random point, he stands up and just yells at our buddy Mike in his face. Shut the fuck up, Mike. You're a fucking Jew.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Now, there's two things to this. One, Mike weren't talking. Wasn't saying a word. Second, also, not Jewish. And
It
third,
just-
to be fair, he's not anti-Semitic or anything like that.
Yeah, it
Whatever.
just happened to be a
But
thing.
eight San Miguel Ian will throw some shit at you,
Eight
apparently.
San Miguel's, 16,
We're-
12,
We're
13
there's
hours.
fucking- this bar is full and we're like, oh, shit. Like,
And to be completely honest,
In your defense, Ian?
in my defense, a couple of days
Oh,
before,
please.
I was just like, I don't think we should go to the pub because I'm going to be up all day, you know. And the wife's like, no, we should go out. And I'm like, okay, we should go. And then I get there and they're serving San Miguel on tap. So what am I supposed to fucking do? You
Lay
know,
on the bar.
have a Coke and sit there and be like, oh, I need to go home. I did even try to go home and play Red Dead Redemption.
and drink more beer.
Yeah, I did try to drink one more beer, but I got home, had a sip,
Yes, Linda, and I did have to bring this up.
yeah,
Yes.
fell asleep, woke up. So I don't know how I made money on Red Dead. I must have been playing in my sleep, and then I had to run outside to kind of throw up because I drank too much, and it just.
Sorry,
I had the
that's
whole
real
day
life.
off.
That's not in Red
I had
Dead.
the
That
whole.
happened.
Yeah, I had the whole next day off because I was so hungover. It was
It's
terrible.
amazing. I've never seen you drink that much, like, for a long time.
Yeah, it was. It was a Friday night. Fuck it.
But yeah, but to be fair, you normally, if you go past like 2 or 3 beers, you're gone.
I'm gone.
He's
that's
out.
it.
Too tired to
I-
carry
I-
on.
Yeah, I mean, he'll pass out somewhere, and we'll be like, "Where's he?" It's like, yeah.
My
3
body
beers.
goes
Like, oh,
on
he's found a bed.
autopilot.
It's fine,
My
it's fine.
brain
you know.
just tries to go right. Let's just keep the feet moving and see what happens.
On-
Bladder, you'll have to work yourself out. Lungs, you keep doing what you're doing. Arms, stay by your side. Eyes, are you still open? Eyes, so fucking blind. You know. But that's why I kind of stick with the wife or stick with friends. You know. But before we cut
was a
off
good
for the
night, though.
part, I do want to give a shout out to our boy Zane from Texas. It's his birthday today. By the time this
Happy
podcast goes
birthday,
out.
dude.
Happy
But
birthday,
actually,
Zane.
I didn't realize it was live, so technically he's hearing it and everyone else can hear
Yep.
it. So happy birthday, Zane. So yeah,
Yeah, awesome. I also want to give a shout out to everyone that's in the comments section. Thank you for all
Yes,
your comments.
yes.
We've seen them going past.
We've seen them,
and I've seen some of the donations that have gone through previously.
Yes,
so I just want to say a big thank you to everyone because you are helping keep the lights on, literally.
That's it. I kept looking at the comments. I'm like, I want to talk about that, and then these two are talking over me. You know,
blame us.
As we progress in future podcasts, we'll figure out a way to give the those that do
Yeah,
donate
maybe
shout outs.
that's how we're going to
They're
do
okay
question section,
there.
maybe?
That will probably be the future
That's
of the
it.
question
they're
segment.
among
Yeah.
themselves. They're fine. Don't touch any sharp objects, and make sure you put those lighters down. Okay, right.
But that's going to bring us to the end of the first part of the podcast. We'll be back in part 2 shortly, talking about our favorite and least favorite video games.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, it's kind of weird because we're on pause, but we're not on pause.
We're not actually on pause yet,
Yeah,
but
it's
we
kinda
will be.
weird.